As Dexter, Original Sin Season 1, Episode 4 explores Harry Morgan's early experiences with Dexter and his brother, Brian, some new disturbing layers are added to the ice truck killer's history. While Dexter, Original Sin's timeline, being set in 1991, largely focuses on 20-year-old Dexter becoming a serial killer and starting his job at Miami Metro, the prequel also features the still-living Harry Morgan having frequent flashbacks to the events leading up to his adoption of 3-year-old Dexter, including Harry's affair with Dexter's biological mother, Laura Moser. These flashbacks in Dexter, Original Sin Season 1, Episode 4 shed more light on how Harry formed a fatherly bond with Dexter before he adopted him, while also emphasizing the contrast in personalities between Laura's sons. While Harry only adopted Dexter after Laura was brutally killed by Hector Estrada's men, the original series reveals that Dexter's brother Brian Moser also grew up to become a serial killer, receiving the nickname the Ice Truck Killer. Though Dexter Season 1 already established that Brian was far more ruthless than Dexter, Original Sin makes the context of his Dark Passenger's development even worse. Dexter, Original Sin reveals that Brian Moser had disturbing habits before Laura's death. Harry was unsettled by Brian's behavior while Laura was still alive. Throughout Dexter Season 1, the titular killer was being taunted by another serial killer who knew the truth about his kills and his dark, hidden past. The Ice Truck Killer continued to tempt Dexter with details surrounding Hector Estrada's murdering Laura Moser, eventually leading Dexter to uncover his long-repressed memories about his biological mother's tragic death, being found in a pool of her blood with his brother by Harry Morgan, and the origin of his Dark Passenger. Brian then reveals himself to Dexter as his brother, with both acting on their craving for blood and death after Laura's murder. Since Dexter's Dark Passenger was born in the shipping container where his mother was murdered, it was assumed that Brian's urge to kill was founded at that moment as well. While that is still partially true, Dexter, Original Sin's flashbacks of younger Dexter and Brian indicate that the elder brother had already exhibited signs of violence and a lack of remorse before Laura's death. Harry was deeply unsettled by young Brian when Laura was still alive, yet Dexter was a more kind, friendly child who exhibited remorse and loved as such. Dexter, Original Sin appears to suggest that Dexter could have gone without a Dark Passenger his entire life had it not been for witnessing his mother's mutilation, whereas Brian's Dark Passenger had always been with him. Dexter Season 1 made it clear that Brian was without morals or the potential to feel remorse like Dexter, but it's even more upsetting that this was instilled in Brian before their mother's death. Additionally, Brian's behavior as a child was already worrying to Harry and was something he hoped wouldn't be passed on to Dexter as he grew older. Original Sin's flashbacks explain more about why Harry didn't adopt Brian with Dexter. Harry thought Brian was too far gone to be saved. Brian Moser smiling in Dexter. By revealing Brian's unsettling behavior as a young child, Dexter, Original Sin adds more intriguing context to the reason why Harry decided to only adopt Dexter rather than both of Laura's sons. Brian himself revealed in Dexter Season 1 that when Harry found him in the shipping container, he simply saw him as a ed-up kid, alongside the other authorities who examined him. It seemed in the original series that Harry made his assumption simply based on the aftermath of Laura's murder, but Dexter, Original Sin explains that Harry had reservations about Brian before that traumatic event. When Harry watches Brian and Dexter while Laura is working the case with Bobby, Harry disturbingly finds Brian killing lizards and pulling their tails off. However, Dexter is distraught when he's unable to save one of the lizards from dying, proving that he didn't have the same bloodlust as his brother at that age. Harry saw Dexter as a kid who had the potential to grow into a caring individual, but seemed to believe that Brian was too far gone even before Laura died. Therefore, after Laura's death, Harry agreed that it was best to place Brian in a psychiatric hospital and receive help from doctors rather than raise him. On the other hand, Harry thought he could save Dexter himself, hoping that witnessing his mother's death wouldn't give him the same violent inclinations as Brian. In the end, Dexter did develop a Dark Passenger, but with the code of Harry, a loving family around him, and his existing nature as a kind and caring child, Harry was able to keep Dexter from becoming the same ruthless killer as Brian. Of course, there's long been a debate over whether Harry is partially responsible for the development of the Ice Truck Killer and the Bay Harbor Butcher. It can be argued that Dexter might not have become a killer had Harry not separated the Moser brothers, hid Dexter's past from him, and taught Dexter a killing code rather than help him work through his trauma with professional psychiatrists at a young age. Brian was made to believe that he couldn't be helped when he was just a child, and that rejection further fueled his violence as the Ice Truck Killer. Will adult Brian Moser appear in Dexter, Original Sin? Some fans have speculated that Brian has already made a cameo. So far, Brian Moser has only appeared in Harry's flashbacks about Laura in Dexter, Original Sin, at which point he's still a young child. However, with Dexter becoming the Bay Harbor Butcher, it wouldn't be surprising if it was revealed that Brian Moser tried to contact his brother long before their official reunion in Dexter Season 1. Brian would be in his early 20s during Dexter, Original Sin Season 1's episodes and already living under a new alias, as the original show revealed that he was released from the psychiatric hospital at age 21 in 1989.